The year 2004 witnessed a cataclysm of almost unimaginable proportions, an event that would be seared into the collective memory of the world. On December 26th, a massive undersea earthquake ruptured the floor of the Indian Ocean, displacing a colossal volume of water. This displacement generated a series of powerful waves, a tsunami, that radiated outwards with terrifying speed and energy. The waves traveled across the entire Indian Ocean, gathering force as they moved through deep water, unseen and unheard. They struck the coastlines of 14 countries, from Indonesia and Thailand to Sri Lanka and India, and even reaching the shores of Africa. The devastation was absolute, a force of nature that scoured the land clean, leaving behind a landscape of ruin and sorrow. Entire communities were wiped from existence in a matter of minutes, swallowed by the relentless surge of the sea. The official death toll exceeded 230,000 people, making it one of the deadliest natural disasters in recorded history. The scientific explanation was clear and unequivocal. A megathrust earthquake with a magnitude of 9.1, 9.3. This quake was the third largest ever recorded on a seismograph, a testament to the immense tectonic forces at play. It occurred where the Indian plate is subducting beneath the Burma plate, a process that has been happening for millions of years. The energy released was equivalent to thousands of atomic bombs, a staggering display of planetary power. However, in the fertile ground of shock and grief, a different narrative began to take root, one that questioned the official story. Whispers turned into online articles, and fringe theories blossomed into a full-blown conspiracy. The central claim was as shocking as it was audacious. The 2004 tsunami was not a natural disaster. It was, the theorists claimed, a man-made event, an act of unimaginable violence disguised as the work of nature. This theory posited that a powerful underwater weapon had been detonated in the Indian Ocean. The alleged weapon was often described as a tsunami bomb, a nuclear device specifically designed to create devastating waves. Proponents of this idea pointed to Cold War-era research, such as Project SEAL, as proof that such technology was feasible. They argued that the seismic signature of the event was more akin to an explosion than a natural earthquake. This claim, however, was widely refuted by seismologists who confirmed the signature was consistent with subduction. The question of motive became a central pillar of the conspiracy, with several competing theories emerging. One prominent theory suggested a geopolitical motive, aimed at altering power dynamics in the region. It was claimed that the United States, perhaps with allies, sought to destabilize rising Asian economies. Another, more sinister version of the theory alleged that the attack was intended to target Muslim populations in countries like Indonesia. This narrative played on existing geopolitical tensions and religious strife, adding a layer of dark intent. Some theorists pointed the finger at India, suggesting it was testing a secret weapon to assert dominance over Pakistan. Others implicated Israel, weaving the event into a complex tapestry of Middle Eastern conspiracy narratives. Lack of a specific, named culprit allowed the theory to remain flexible and adaptable to various biases. Theorists often cited the unusual behavior of animals before the tsunami as evidence of an unnatural event. While it's true many animals fled to higher ground, scientists attribute this to their ability to sense seismic vibrations. Another piece of evidence was the supposed lack of warning from official channels, implying a cover-up. In reality, the Indian Ocean lacked a tsunami warning system, like the one that existed in the Pacific. The disaster tragically highlighted this technological gap, which has since been rectified. Conspiracy theorists also claim that certain individuals or groups had prior knowledge and were secretly evacuated. No credible evidence has ever substantiated these claims of selective warnings or evacuations. The internet acted as a powerful amplifier for these theories, allowing them to spread rapidly across the globe. Forums, blogs, and early social media platforms became echo chambers where speculation was presented as fact. The emotional appeal of the conspiracy was undeniable, offering a simple explanation for a complex and horrifying event. It is often psychologically easier to blame a malicious actor than to accept the random, impersonal violence of nature. Blaming a secret cabal provides a target for anger and a sense of order, however twisted, to the chaos. The scientific community, however, remained united in its assessment of the tsunami as a natural phenomenon. They pointed out the immense energy of the earthquake, far surpassing any nuclear device ever created by humanity. The seismic data collected from stations around the world was consistent and unambiguous. Furthermore, a nuclear detonation of that magnitude would have produced a unique and easily detectable radioactive signature. No such radiation was ever detected in the water, air, or soil of the affected regions. The conspiracy theory, therefore, requires a belief in a secret technology that is both powerful and perfectly clean. It also requires a global cover-up of unprecedented scale, involving thousands of scientists, governments, and military personnel. The logistical impossibility of such a cover-up is, for many, the theory's greatest weakness. Despite the overwhelming scientific evidence, the conspiracy theory persists in the darker corners of the internet. It serves as a powerful case study in how misinformation can take hold in the aftermath of a tragedy. The theory preys on a distrust of authority and a deep-seated fear of secret powers. For the survivors and the families of the victims, these theories can be deeply insulting. They distract from the real issues of natural disaster preparedness and climate change. The narrative of a secret weapon negates the profound, impersonal power of the planet itself. It replaces a terrifying natural truth with a comforting, if sinister, human-centric lie. The story of the 2004 tsunami is a story of geological forces, not of geopolitical intrigue. It is a story of human vulnerability in the face of a planet that is dynamic and, at times, violent. The conspiracy, in the end, reveals more about human psychology than it does about the event itself. It shows our deep need to find meaning and agency, even in the most random and destructive of events. The waves that day were not born of malice, but of the Earth's own restless, powerful heartbeat. The theory of a man-made cause ultimately disrespects the memory of those who were lost. It attempts to steal a tragedy of nature and repurpose it as a political statement. The truth of the tsunami lies not in secret bunkers, but in the cold, hard data of seismology. It lies in the geological reality of our planet's tectonic plates, constantly shifting and grinding. Conspiracy offers a seductive narrative, but it is a fiction built on a foundation of fear. Accepting the natural cause requires a humility that conspiracy theories are designed to circumvent. It requires us to acknowledge that some forces are simply beyond our control or comprehension. The 2004 tsunami was a tragedy, not a conspiracy. A lesson from the Earth, not a message from a shadowy cabal. The world watched in horror as the first images of the aftermath began to surface. News reports struggled to convey the sheer scale of the destruction. An unprecedented global relief effort was mobilized in response. Yet, even as aid poured in, the seeds of doubt were being sown online. The theory of a tsunami bomb was not new, tracing its roots to WWS experiments. This historical precedent, however tenuous, lent the conspiracy a veneer of credibility. Theorists meticulously cherry-picked data to fit their preconceived narrative. Anomalous weather reports and unusual cloud formations were presented as proof. Scientists explained these as unrelated meteorological phenomena, but their voices were often drowned out. The idea of a secret. Advanced technology is a common trope in conspiracy circles. It allows for any and all inconsistencies to be explained away by the weapon's secret nature. The emotional toll on survivors was immense, a grief compounded by the loss of homes and livelihoods. To suggest their suffering was a deliberate act is a particularly cruel form of speculation. The conspiracy narrative is a fundamentally self-centered one, placing human action at the center of all events. It denies the autonomy of the natural world, reducing it to a mere stage for human conflict. Search for truth requires critical thinking and a respect for evidence. Conspiracy theories, by contrast, demand faith in the absence of evidence. The 2004 event led to a revolution in oceanography and disaster preparedness. International cooperation increased, with nations sharing data to prevent future tragedies. This constructive legacy stands in stark contrast to the destructive nature of the conspiracy theories. The memory of the tsunami should inspire resilience, not paranoia. It should remind us of our shared vulnerability and our collective strength. The Earth shifted on its axis that day, a physical manifestation of the event's power. The sound of the earthquake was reportedly heard thousands of miles away. The conspiracy ignores the sheer, raw data that points to a natural origin. It prefers a shadowy narrative over a complex, scientific truth. The victims deserve to be remembered as victims of a natural disaster, not as pawns in a fictional game. The theory's persistence is a testament to the power of narrative over fact. It highlights a modern dilemma, the democratization of information and misinformation. Ultimately, the conspiracy of a tsunami bomb is a ghost story for the digital age. It is a fiction that provides a villain where there is none. The real story is more profound, a planet indifferent to humanity, operating on a geological timescale. The waves receded, but the scars on the landscape and in memory remain. Rebuilding was a monumental task, undertaken by communities with incredible resilience. The conspiracy offers no path to healing, only a cycle of blame and suspicion. The truth, grounded in science, allows for understanding, acceptance, and preparation. The 2004 tsunami was a moment of shared global grief. Let it not be co-opted by those who seek to divide and deceive. The ocean holds the memory of that day, a silent witness to the Earth's power. The sheer volume of displaced water was almost beyond comprehension. It was a stark reminder of the planet's latent and overwhelming force. The conspiracy theories began to emerge within days of the disaster. They found a receptive audience in those already distrustful of global powers. The narrative of a secret weapon provided a simple enemy. This is psychologically more palatable than a faceless, random act of nature. Seismologists patiently explained the mechanics of a subduction zone or earthquake. Their explanations, based on decades of research, were dismissed by theorists. The energy release was compared to the entire energy consumption of the United States over several months. No human technology could replicate such a colossal event. The lack of any radioactive fallout remains the conspiracy's most glaring hole. A clean bomb of that magnitude exists only in the realm of science fiction. The global network of seismic sensors provides an unblinking, objective record. To believe the conspiracy, one must believe this entire network was compromised or misinterpreted. The human cost of the disaster was a tragedy that needed no embellishment. They exploited grief and transformed it into suspicion and anger. The focus shifted from humanitarian aid to baseless accusations. The real heroes of the story were the first responders and ordinary citizens. They worked tirelessly in the face of unimaginable horror. Their stories are of courage and compassion, not of conspiracy and deceit. The tsunami was a geological event, not a geopolitical one. Its legacy should be one of improved science and global solidarity. The conspiracy offers only a dead end of paranoia. Let us remember the victims by honoring the truth of what happened. The Earth does not need human motives to be powerful and destructive. It is a force unto itself, ancient and indifferent. 2004 tsunami was a tragic, natural chapter in our planet's long and violent history.